it's a really neat opportunity to be able to spend some time with the cattle and slowly figure out positions and energy. And when I like to practice this both in foot and in the saddle, for all the clinics that we do, I always take my turn because each time I learn a little bit more, as we know with everything. So as I play with this, I like to think about what I want before I do it. So I know that is my actions working. So I'm just not moving and then see them move. I have an idea of what I want so that I can teach myself how to read the cow. So this one's looking that way. If I want her to look that way, I'm going to position myself here and I'm going to send a little energy. And all I'm going to do is think, can I just get her to do what I want? Well, she actually walked away that way more than she looked. So I just note to self so I can essentially keep learning this. So I'm going to look at this one and I'm going to think about what I can do to maybe send it to that corner versus this corner. What angle would I need if that's the direction I wanted to send it? And where would I put the pressure? And then again, and as Robert says, always reward for the slightest try. So the more particular I am in what I want, I think that the quicker I learn. And my horse feels that intention, and I really believe the cow does as well. So I'd just like to get in here and move around them and think about where I like them to go. That's good. That's good. And then, as Robert knows, when you back off, how much you back off till you really see them settling, because that's really important. So I am going to send this one that way. Good. But now I'm going to back up and see if I can send her the other way. Now I want to turn her into the fence. Up, but that one's going to be, so she's looking at me. Ah, super. Up. So you can see as I go to send her here, she wants to go that way. And I can see right now that having her turn into the fence is going to be a little bit challenging. That might make her a little nervous. So I'm going to change my mind so I don't have to put too much pressure on the cow, or if I'm horseback, too much pressure on the horse. There she's turning away. So it's really fun to keep challenging myself, because when I get into a competition, I have no idea what's going to be presented. So the more I can play with this, the more I can learn. And in these clinic settings are just great opportunities to learn slowly. Ah, super. That's really nice. So, and then when I get horseback, of course, I like to do the same. And I like to think about, too, for myself, especially as I get into competition, to be able to be really effective and quick. And I have found that that being able to come in and put a little pressure and then reward the cow right away, and then come in again and put a little pressure and then reward, and then a little bit more and then reward. That always feels to me the fastest way to get a cow to move. It's that reward that really seems to be effective. And I also feel that keeps the pressure off a horse, especially a young green one. Awesome. So I'm going to push this one. Ah, good. And I think the most important thing is, especially when I go to think about what I want from a cow, and I get a change and I take the pressure off, the horse doesn't feel a lot of pressure all the time throughout the entire competition or throughout the whole time I'm working with the cow. That's good. Super. And another thing, obviously, too, is when you come in to cut your cow out, you can determine right away if they're really jumpy or a little bit dull. And one of the things that's tricky horseback, I have a flag, so this really helps, but you don't have a flag and you can't touch the cow, but you want to find a way to put a little extra energy sometimes. And if you can get your horse to move quickly with a little bit of energy and then quit, and you can do a little bit of energy up and down, that's really effective for directing a cow that might be a little bit quiet and dull. So that's just a little bit of what I like to do when I play with the cows and practice. It's amazing how much fun it is with your horse, how you can develop that partnership in a way like no other. So thanks so much for watching.
Okay, I'm going to go over another thing. Janet was mentioning that, you know, on your horseback, you're probably not going to have a flag. But there might be some other things you have when you're horseback that you can use. So I've got my last rope, and you don't really have to be able to rope anything to have a rope or if you use a Makati lead or something like that while you're riding, you can use that. But sometimes I'll just grab my rope when I go in to work the cattle, and I can make noise just by bumping it on my leg like this. You could also slap your hand, make a little noise that way. But again, I don't like to do any shouting and yelling like sometimes we see with people that they really don't understand that a real quality way of moving cattle, or they're in a hurry. Either one of those is not necessarily quality moving, but you do have to get a job done sometimes, and sometimes you've got to step up to the plate. Or you can spill cattle and create a lot of work for people. When you're learning, that's okay, that's just part of it, but the goal is to get to where you can really kind of do your share or take your position with the cattle, especially if you're on a team working together. I'm going to come over here, and here's how I might use my rope here. Just maybe a little air noise there. A little bit here too. Let's go. Come on. So anyway, just a little something. You come up with something, your horse has a bigger presence, and if they have the confidence to move the cattle, you won't have to do so much. But again, we don't want our horses getting aggressive towards the cattle, and they will do that very easily if we don't kind of keep them in check. So just another little thing to think about there. I'm gonna get a little bigger here to get them to move. See them get them move out of here. Get them moving. Like I say, these are awfully gentle, which the cow owner appreciates that, because that's like money in the bank. So that's what we like to emphasize with the cattle work. All right.